Among the one-year MBA programs in India, there is another program which is offered by the IIM Lucknow. So IIM Lucknow one-year full-time MBA program is called the IPMX, and the admission cycle for the IPMX is open now. We are going to walk you through how to fill the application form for the IPMX for the 24-25 intake. A few things about the IPMX. So the first thing is that this program is for those people who have completed 5 years of full-time work experience. One more query was that in case you have completed 5 years of work experience, but now you are on a career break for some reason. So would you be eligible to apply for this program or not? So yes, you can apply to this program provided you have full-time work experience post completion of your undergraduate studies. So just look at that duration. If that duration is complete, then you are qualified to apply to this program. Apart from that, your undergraduate, during your undergraduate studies, you must have a 50% of your CGPA. So these are the two main criteria that you need to look into. So the test scores which are accepted for this program are the GMAT or GRE scores, and both the online and the online or at home test as well as the in-center test for GMAT or GRE. Both of these are acceptable to is your GMAT or GRE validity is slightly different. So for the first phase of applications, the GMAT score or the GRE score should be valid as on October 31st, 2023. And for the phase 2 applicants, the GMAT or the GRE score should be valid as on December 31st, 2023. There are two deadlines. There are two phases of intake. One is October 31st, 2023, and the second is December 31st, 2023. So this is by when you must submit your application to be considered for the IIM Lucknow IPMX program. And let's get started with the application form. So once you create your login and you venture into the application form, this is the screen that you will find. So you will have to add your personal details, including your contact details, as well as there are 2-3 important points in this particular window. One is that you can mention whether you are differently abled. So if you are differently abled, you can select a yes or a no from this particular tab. And if, let's say, if you select yes, then you will have to also state the type of certificate that you have. So if it is differently abled, then what is the type that you qualify for? Is it low vision? Is it hearing impairment? Or is it locomotor disability? So there are certified, certification bodies authorized by the Indian government, which will give you a valid certificate, which will be required at a later stage in this application form. Right. Another thing that you can select over here is the category of where you are applying from. So do you belong to the general, the OBC, the SC or the ST category? So select your category over here. Again, if you are selecting anything except for general, you will have some government issued certificates, which will again be required at a later stage in the application. So once we have saved this information, we can go to the next part, which is about your test scores. Two types of tests are applicable here. They are acceptable by the IPMX admissions. One is the GMAT or the GRE. So you can select GMAT or GRE from this window. And once you do that, you have the option of selecting what is the type of test that you wrote. So is it an in-center test or an online test? Based on this, you need to give the date when you have written the test, a GMAT ID, and a GMAT score for yourself. Also, make sure that you are sending the official GMAT scores from the GMAT website or the GRE scores from the ETS website to the school. On this window itself, you can select the interview preferences, the cities where you want to go in for the interview. So you will have choices from Bangalore, Mumbai, Noida, Kolkata, and Hyderabad to select from. So you can select a first preference and a second preference in this window itself. So this is the second part of information that is done. Now coming to the educational qualifications. So for the educational qualifications, there are 4 types of information that you can add. 10th and 12th examination, this is a mandatory window. Bachelor's qualification again is a mandatory window because you need at least 50% grades in your bachelor's to qualify to apply to this program. Master's degree and professional qualification, these are optional windows. If you have anything to fill in over here, you can do that. So you add your 10th and 12th examinations. Where did you do it from? What board, university, and the scores that you got in this. And then similarly for your bachelor's qualification, you need to add the details. Again, in the bachelor's information, there is another piece of information that is required, that is whether you completed this course on in a regular format, a correspondence, or a part-time format. So you can add this information over here and then go forward towards the master's or the professional qualification. So if you are a CA or you have a CFA level 1 or level 2, this is where that information goes in. The next window is about your work experience. So add the organization and the designation, the from to period, as well as your monthly remuneration in this window. Some things that need to be taken care of is part-time and part-time work or project work or freelancing or training projects or internships are not allowed to be added in this particular window. So please don't add that information here. Plus, when you are adding your work experience, go forward in adding it in the chronologically reverse order. So add your most recent work experience first and then add about the previous jobs that you have held. One more section that needs to be filled out in this window is, are you sponsored by your organization? So you need to mention whether you have been sponsored by the organization. A yes or a no checkbox is enough to fulfill this response. And the fifth part of the application is the statement of purpose. The statement of purpose comprises of 5 questions. The IIM Lucknow IPMX application. This is the 1-year MBA program which is offered by the IIM Lucknow on the Noida campus. So for this application, the statement of purpose section will require you to fill in 5 details. One is why you wish to pursue this particular program in 200 words. Second is about your short-term and long-term career goals, again 200 words. And describe 3 to 5 characteristics that best describe you. And this is only 50 words. And please provide any other information that you would like to share in support of your application, anything else that you want to add over here. Plus, you also need to mention whether you have applied to the IPMX before. If it is yes, then do mention the changes in your profile. You have around 100 words to say that. If it is no, then you just need to add no or not applicable over here and you can proceed to the next section. So once this part of the information is filled in, you can go to the 6th section, which is about the uploads. There are very specific requirements for the uploads. If it is a photograph, it has to be of a specific size and dimension. And if it is your signature, then again, it has to be a specific size and dimension. The rest of the documents can be in PDF format. And the options that you selected initially, whether you are applying to the OBC, NSC or NST category, so the category selection or the differently abled selection, if you had done it in the previous window, in the first window itself, then you need to add the document with respect to that over here. The last document that is required is proof of your work experience. So you can add things like your relieving letter, your your employer's certificate and your first and last salary slips. But there is a clear instruction that please do not upload your appointment letters or joining letters. So it is not at all required that you should add your appointment letter or joining letter. In case you have missed or misplaced your initial letters or any other documentation to that could show the tenure, then you could just go back to your employer and get a new certificate from them. That would just be enough for this part of the application. So finally, once you have done that, okay, there's one more slight point that needs to be taken care of. So this section you might not be able to directly save and go to the next one. So just refresh it once so that it allows you to save and go forward. So otherwise you'll be worried whether you've uploaded something incorrectly. Nothing of that sort. It is just that the section is probably, it takes time to upload, so it will just refresh itself and then you can go to the next section. Always print out the preview form and go by it word by word so that you are able to cross check every information that you have added uh, to this application form. One thing about the statement of purpose is that this does not allow you to copy paste. So if you're leaving this for the last moment, please note that you will not be able to copy paste any information in the statement of purpose section. You will have to type it out. So do it amply in time so that you have time to type out your response over here. Again, when you are typing it out, there are some mistakes which probably, will not be visible clearly in this section itself. So it is always good to go to the preview form, get a preview of whatever you have typed in, and check whether it is what you wanted to submit. And once you have cross-checked that, you can just go to the payment details and submit the application form for the Executive MBA at IIM Lucknow, the 1-year MBA program, the IPMX 2024-25 intake application form. So all the best. In case you have any queries or in case you need any help with your MBA essays or your MBA interview, you can always get in touch with us.